Thank you. Good
morning, everyone. Okay, good morning, friends.
Good morning, sir.
How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Actually, Professor Murthy will be taking a session today.
It is morning or afternoon.
It is morning here in Nigeria, but we don't know in India. It is afternoon.
That is why I told you good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, it's afternoon here.
In India, it is afternoon.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, it is morning, sir.
Okay.
Okay, morning, afternoon. Good morning in the afternoon.
Good morning and good afternoon to you all.
Yeah.
Good morning.
And good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
A very good afternoon, Angela.
It's afternoon here in Mauritius. It's 1:38.
Okay. Mauritius. Okay.
Who is coming from?
Yes, Mauritius.
Angela is from
Area it's 10:38 area.
Morning.
Okay. Share. उसको अभी लैंग्वेज का कैंसिल करने से बाद में अगर चाहिए तो Good morning.
Good morning. Zonga Morris from Gambia.
Yeah. Good morning. इसमें करने से अपना काज होगा. इस पे क्लिक करके शेयर कर दीजिए. क्लिक करके शेयर करें. चलो अभी तो कैंसिल करो. ओके. ठीक है. चलो. Should I wait for somebody? No. Go ahead. Okay, friends, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to this session. So I am Professor C.R.K. Murthy. Can you hear me? No problem? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, we are getting you.
I am C.R.K. Murthy, Professor of Distance Education at STRIDE. STRIDE, you know what is STRIDE? I don't think I should tell you. STRIDE, Staff Training and Research Institute of Distance Education at IGNO, Indira Gandhi National Open University, which is offering this program. To you. Okay. Is it? I am audible, so that I will go ahead. Isn't it okay? Yeah.
Yes, you can go ahead,
Yes,
sir.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we had an induction program after induction. You have the class from Dr. Ali. You have a class from Dr. Anita. And yesterday you had Tata Ramakrishna. And today is the fourth class. Am I correct? Fourth session.
Yes, sir. It is a fourth section.
The fourth session. You heard about the MDE 411 course, yeah, and MDE 412. You heard,
Yes.
yeah. MDE 413. Yesterday you had heard about it, and today we are going to discuss MDE 414. Course code is MDE 414. The title is Management of Distance Education. Okay, that's the title. This is a course. This is the fourth course, and you will know about the fifth course tomorrow. That's another colleague of mine will come and talk to you. Okay, yeah. Anybody has seen this course outline in the soft copy?
Yes, we have it, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Aminu has seen it. Yeah. 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 Somebody is telling. Yeah. This is the course one title is Growth and Philosophy of Distance Education. That's MDE 411. MDE 412 title is Instructional Design. MDE 413 Learner Support Services. MDE 414, the present course which I am going to deal, is the MDE 414 Management of Distance Education. Okay. First three courses, you have some sort of academic relation. Growth and philosophy, you are supposed to know how the distance education system, what is the philosophical foundations, how it has evolved over a period of time, and that's one, the first course starts. Second course is what is the instructional design or pedagogy of distance education. That course talks about it, what are issues. That's the second course. The third course is what is the role of learner support services. Dr. Tata Ramakrishna must have talked to you yesterday, and then naturally it's related to that. So those three. After the three courses, related courses, now we have come to the fourth one, and suddenly jumped into the management of distance education. So you may be a bit little surprised or wonder how come distance education management has come in this one. Okay, this is actually, as a student of distance education, once you complete the tomorrow, the first year is a diploma, PG diploma in distance education. Once you complete, you will enter into the second year. That's it. Once you complete the second year also, you will become the graduate of MA in distance education. So once you do the MA in distance education 2 years, and you will become almost an expert in distance education. And once you become expert in distance education, you are supposed to know what is distance education is all about, how this has to be managed. I think most of you must be working in a conventional institutions, schools or colleges or universities, and you know how those colleges are managed, how the university is managed. In the same way, distance education systems have to be managed. So how these two have to be managed is the crux of this course. What are the various components? What are the various components involved? Let me present it so that I will explain to you more here. Can you see the slides? Can you see the slide? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We can
Yes,
see
we
it.
can see.
Yeah. The course title is Management of Distance Education. Okay. So that's my name. I am a professor here. I'm talking about
Yes, sir.
about this course. As I said, the distance education systems, whether it is small department, hello, whether it is small department of distance education or big department of distance education, what constitutes the distance education systems, management of distance education is it the same like any other college or university, or is it is different? If it is different, how it is different? I think that is it. And if it is different, how it is different, how these things have to be managed is the what we are going to talk in this particular course. So there are 5 blocks in this course. There are 5 blocks in this course. You know what does it mean by a block? I think other colleagues must have explained to you. You know what does it mean? A block significance. A block.
Yes, sir.
You know that. So this course has 5. Yeah, you know that. This course has 5 blocks. Today I will just give the overview of each block, and then we'll move into the details. Is it okay? That's how I want to proceed. The block 1 title is Education System Management. Course title I said Management of Distance Education, but the block title, the first block title I gave in is Education System Management. Before you understand the distance education, what is distance education, what constitutes the various subsystems, and how it is to be managed, before you know that, you should know about education system management in general. There are schools, there are colleges, regular schools, regular universities. What are they? How those things are managed? So if you know that, that will become a foundation or a basis to understand more with more clarity about the distance education. So this block has 4 units. You know that a unit is the part of the block. So we will cover 4 major themes, 4 major topics under this block. The first unit will talk about management functions and process and overview. I think what we do is, what is the management functions? Generally, if any one of you have a background of management science, you have done MBAs, etc., they know that the various management functions, processes will be there. So naturally, to understand even educational management or to understand even a distance education management, I think you are supposed to know what are the basic functions of management. So that's why Unit 1 we talked about the management functions of the basics of like planning, policy formulation, controlling, organizing, leading, motivating. These are all management functions and processes which we will talk about. Once you understand that, these terms or these concepts we use in the distance education context later. So that's why the student of MDE or PGDDE you are attending, you may not be coming with a management science backgrounds. Many of you must not be with the management science. That is the reason this Unit 1 we talk about the basic functions of management. Okay, that's one. The Unit 1 talks. We will go when you talk about the Unit 1 in detail. The Unit 2 is management of education system. Suppose in the country of Nigeria, you have your own education system. In country of Mauritius, you have your own education system. Like every country has their own education system. Primary level school education, higher education, and then maybe technical education, maybe other professional education. There are various educations, are how these institutions, these areas of education is managed at the country level, at the province level. So that's where we talk about the management of education. What are the functions of that? How these education are monitored, planned and monitored. I think my request is you switch off the mic so that it will not create a problem in my talking and my presentation. Switch off the mic. Whenever you want to speak, then only switch on it. That will help us for the smooth going of the session. So whenever you want to speak, then only on. Otherwise, you should be your mic should be switched off. That's it. And then the Unit 3, we talk about the management of educational institutions. Suppose the school is an institution, college is an institution, university is an institution. How the school is managed? School is managed in a different way. College is a little bigger. The school is starting with the small kids at the school level, and the college, the teenagers and the youth will be coming. So how those things are managed? So we'll talk about the management of a specific colleges or schools, how these are managed. That will be the crux of Unit 3. Then we will go about Unit 4, Management Process in Education. So what education constitutes? What are the process components are more important? Of course, earlier Unit 2 and 3, you talked about the structural things, more of structural arrangements. Here, the process component. What are the processes which determine the education? What are the processes which dictate the education? What are the processes which we follow in the education, imparting education? Will be the crux of the Unit 4. So we'll talk later in detail. Each one unit is taken and we'll explain it. So these are the 4 units of the block 1. Any question on this? Otherwise, we'll move. Maybe we'll have at the end of the question session. Let me go back. Let me go to the next slide. So block 2. The title of the block 2 is Management of Higher Education. First, we talked in the block 1 is the general systems management of education at the school, college, and university level. Then we are coming to focusing on higher education, because PG diploma in distance education, MA program in distance education, our focus is not of the school level. We may refer here and there, but the total focus will be on the higher education institution and higher education systems in various countries. I think that's why this title is the block is kept as the management of higher education. So in this first unit, higher education in India, retrospect and prospect. I think maybe you are familiar with Indian higher education system. We have the almost second or the third largest network of higher education institutions in India. I think a very, very large network. The first one, if you consider that US higher education in terms of institutions and largeness, then the China has the largest network of higher education. Then I think we are more or less at the equal level in terms of number of institutions, number of students studying in higher education, and the number of graduates produced, all the things. That's where, and we have a strong history of higher education in India. Before independence, we started a few institutions. After independence in 1947, the higher education systems started expanding. So we have a large number of institutions. So we'll talk about the bit of history and bit of the current status of higher education in India. That's why this Unit 1 is titled. You may ask how it is important to me, a student from Nigeria, student from Mauritius, or student from any other country, why I should study. So naturally, once you study the higher education systems, your country or other countries, then only you can try to compare it, understand it, the various issues involved. I think large extent, the developing nations, whether it is Nigeria or India or Mauritius, I think quite a few similarities are there. I think socio-cultural similarities, socio-economic similarities, which dictate the higher education system. That's where the higher education India retrospect and prospect, once we go in detail, actually, I think we can relate the Indian scenario to one's own country, your country, compare the picture also. That's what the theme and the depth of this particular unit. Then the Unit 2, from Indian scenario, we will switch over to higher education in developing countries. That's why I said a minute ago, there are similarities, there are common issues. All those things will be focused by taking the specific example in the developing countries, an overview of that, what the problems which are common, what are the strengths which are common among the developing countries of higher education systems. I think whether it is Nigeria, whether it is Mauritius, whether it is India, we have a few common characteristics. So we will touch upon those things. And Unit 3 of this particular block talks about higher education in the globalized world. Things are changing. Naturally, 3 decades back, maybe global scenario was not that much, but things are changing with the technological advancement, economic developments of the nations, and various other factors are determining you have to be contacts. That's how the globalization of the world. And your best example is your own students. You, as students from various other countries, have joined IGNO itself is in the, how it is possible. So it's a globalized world, a global networks. Technology is helping. Otherwise, you have not met me. I have not met you. But you and me, we are talking, discussing through the tech network with the help of a arrangement between your countries and the government of India. So this is how the globalized world is the best example. That's what I will give it. Various other aspects also we'll talk in the unit 3. In the same way, unit 4, we talk about the after globalization, etc. with the management of education systemic level. I think suppose you take a country of like India, which is a very vast country in every sense. We have a one minute. I'll yeah. This is the higher education systemic level, and then how these institutions are managed at the institution level, from there the province level, and then at the national level. So that's what higher education systemic levels, how the things are managed. And then the last unit talks about the management of higher education institutional level. You are running a college, you are running a university. What constitutes the institution of college or university? How these things are managed? College will be headed by a principal or a head of the college. And then it comes to the universities, naturally the CEO of the university, we call the vice chancellor, in our case also maybe the same. So how their various other support structures will be there, who are they, what are the, so these are all the 5 units. What I want to explain that is the management of higher education will complete the block 2. I think let us move to the next block. The block 3 is the planning and management of distance education, is the block 3 title. First one is education systems management, block 1, and the second block we focused on higher education. After getting the clarity on the higher education in general, we are going to talk about the planning and management of distance education, focusing in a particular manner. So that's how. Without understanding the higher education management, you may not be able to do the justice to the distance education, planning and management of distance education at the higher education level. That's where this block is coming with a comprehensive understanding about the previous 2 blocks. That in this block we have the unit 1, that is a understanding distance. What is distance education? What are the concepts involved? What are the terms involved in distance education? What is the philosophy behind the distance education? And what are the foundations of distance education? And where it started in the world? Who coined the term distance education? Where it started? After explaining that in the unit 1, we will move to the unit 2 of this particular block, that is the distance education methods and practices. What methods are followed? Is it the small institution, or is it a big institution? Is it a technology based? Is it a print based? What are the methods which we will follow it? And what are the various other components, evaluation systems, technological systems, and what are the practices followed by the distance education institution? So this will be the focus of the unit 2 of the block 3. After that, we will go about the unit 3 of the block 3. That's the organization structure of higher distance education institutions. Hope you are able to listen me. Okay, colleagues and friends, you able to listen me? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Sir, can you repeat your question?
Yeah.
Sir, can you repeat your question?
But whether you are able to follow me, whether you are able to listen me, that's
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely, sir. Thank you.
okay. Okay.
We are
Thank you, sir. Yes.
following. Maybe if you
Yeah.
could increase on the volume a little. Thank
Volume
you.
is, I have put the highest volume. Yeah.
I'm
This is the
following. We are. Yeah, maybe if
yeah.
you can increase on your volume a little bit.
I have increased it. I am
We can hear
Oh,
you, sir. We can hear you.
thank
We
you.
haven't
on
killed it.
top of my volume. My dear students, I think hope you will be able to listen me. I'll speak a little louder also. Yeah. Unit 3 talks about the organization structure of higher distance education institutions. Okay. There are various types of distance education institutions. Suppose IGNO, where you have joined, this is one type of distance education institution. National Open University of Nigeria. Now you have a different, that's also distance education university. That's what type it belongs. And there are the directorates of distance education, schools of distance education. So this is a different types. So why these are the different types, of what basis these are categorized, and what the difference between these categories also will be the focus of this unit 3. So as a student of distance education, you are supposed to know about the various categories of distance education institution, what are the characteristics of these categories, each category, and then how to differentiate these things. That's the crux of the unit 3 of this particular block. After 3, we'll go back, we'll enter into the unit 4, that is the management of distance education systems. Once, one second, I will come back. Maybe some students are waiting to join, it seems. Yeah. Yeah, I think some students have come to this thing. Yeah. So can you see the slide also? No problem? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No problem, sir.
Because students
Yes, sir. We can
students
see
who have
it.
come little late, naturally I have to admit them. So that's why I took a little break. I think I have admitted most of them. If somebody is waiting, so that naturally we take it, no problem. So yeah, Laura, admit. Okay, yeah, we have almost 22 students. LAU Omar, admit. Okay, yeah, 22. So that's okay. Now we are talking about the unit 4. That's a management of distance education system. These institutions, I told you various types of institutions or various categories of institutions, like University of Nigeria, Indira Gandhi Open University, United Kingdom Open University, and we have a directorate of distance educations in various countries. How to manage? Is it the same, the management of X University, Open University, or X category, or the management of different universities of different categories? Yeah. So that we'll talk about this one, and what are the issues involved in the management of distance education. Actually, in the school or college level, you plan the curriculum. Curriculum is decided, whether it's undergraduate program, whether it's a postgraduate program, and that after the curriculum is decided, and then you will admit the students, you recruit the faculty, and naturally the concerned faculty will take the concerned subjects. So those type of things you will do in a college or university. Same is in the case of distance education. Once you want to develop a programs, how do you develop a programs in distance education? You need a faculty expertise. Suppose you want to develop a PG program in MA Economics, a PG program in a journalism. You need a faculty of the particular discipline. I think that unless you get a faculty, you cannot expect a economics faculty can develop a program in journalism. No, is it possible? No, it is not possible. So that's where, and the same is the case in the distance education. Quite a few issues are here. It is not the classroom teaching. What what you as a teacher do in the college, you as a teacher teach in the university. In the distance education, students are not with you. But you admit the student. But for them, you have to develop a curriculum and the material, whether it is a print material, whether it is electronic material, how you design it, how you develop it, how you print it, how you deliver it, how you send it. So these are all issues, and technology. What technology you want to use it? Suppose we are using this Google Meet. It's not easy unless I develop a plan for this Google Meet. My regional center, Dehradun Regional Center, is planning for this in consultation with the managers at the university headquarters. They have developed it. They have talked to you. They have talked to us, and that's how we are going about it. Then we talk about those issues. We talk about the Unit 4 of Block 3, and then Unit 5 will go into the specific each issue in planning and management of this. What we discussed a little broader way in the Unit 4, we will be focusing it in the Unit 5. Once you develop these five units of this particular block, you will be strong enough to understand the crux and the nuances or the key points of the distance education and its management. That's what we talk about the Block 3. Okay. One second. Let me. Hello. Okay. Let me just take the help. Maybe my slide is. Hey, Jyoti, 1 second. Quick screen banana, full screen. Let's start it. I started the class. 1 second. Good. Okay. Okay, then we go. Yeah, can you see me the slides now?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Yeah. We discussed up to Block 3. अरे एक मिनट ज्योति प्रेजेंटेशन से फिर बैक करना है तो एस्केप है ना? हाँ सर. Just escape. Minimize the screen पे जाना. Friends, now we will move to the next block. That's a Block 4. After Block 3, where gone deep into the distance education systems and its understanding. We are going to block 4. The title is Planning and Management of ODL Institution. ODL means Open and Distance Learning Institution Case Study. Block 3, we talked about the various theories, various criteria, various subsystems of this. Now, the same issues we will take with the help of case studies of various institutions across the world. The Unit 1 talks about the management of a mega open university, a case of IGNOU. That's a Indira Gandhi National Open University where you joined as a student. So the unit talk about what is IGNOU, when it was established, what are the objectives of IGNOU, what structures are there to this big university, and what are the assessment components, what are the evaluation components. All the things we will talk in the Unit 4 with the help of a case. That's a IGNOU case, Indira Gandhi National Open University case. After that, Unit 2, we talk about the promotion and coordination of distance education in the country, that is India. How Indian distance, we have a strong network of Indian distance education in India. Unlike many countries, there is only one open university or one distance education department or 2. But in India, it's a vast country. You all know that we have almost, along with IGNOU as an open university, we have 14 or 15 other provincial open universities as well. In addition to these provincial open universities in various provinces, we have quite a few conventional universities, that's the regular universities, who are running the distance education departments. That's also there. Suppose you take the case of Australian Deccan University, Australia. It's a very established university. Within that, there is a distance teaching department where they offer the distance education courses. Same is the case in India. Almost around 100 regular universities, one of the departments starts operating a distance teaching programs. So naturally, how those things are coordinated. So we have almost 100 plus distance education institutions in the country. How to promote this distance education? Who coordinates? Which body coordinates? Which body regularly monitors the standards of these universities? All these are the issues. How these are the focus will be in the Unit 2. Once we talk about the Unit 2, yes, somebody is asking. Yeah. Unit 3, we talk about management of a national open university, a case of noun. Any students from the noun? Nigeria, National Open University of Nigeria. Okay. National Open University, Nigeria, we have a case, we'll talk about that. And then we have a case of UNISA, University of South Africa case also there. So there are 2 cases from the African continent. Yeah, somebody is speaking?
Yes.
Okay. Please switch.
Excuse
Yeah,
sir.
please.
I don't know if your slide is actually moving, because the slide we are seeing is just management of distance education. We are not seeing another slide.
Okay. Let me. Yeah. Now we are seeing which slide? Block 4.
Yes, we are seeing it now.
Now we are seeing the block 4. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In the block 4, as I explained, block 3, we talked about the systems and subsystems of distance education in general. Now in this block, we are. Please switch off the mic. Switch off your mic. Otherwise, switch off your mics. If you switch on your mics, naturally you will not be able to listen my voice. Yeah. Any question? Then only switch on and ask me. Otherwise, please switch off. Yeah. Is it okay? Pardon? Yeah. So this one, in this particular block, we have many case studies. We'll talk about the case studies. Indira Gandhi National University case in the Unit 1. In the Unit 2, we will be talking about the coordination of the distance education systems in the country. Unit 3, we talk about the National Open University of Nigeria, a case, and University of South Africa, a case study. We'll talk about it. And the next unit, Unit 4, we'll talk about a provincial state open university in India. That's what a B.R. Ambedkar Open University located in Hyderabad. We'll talk about that. And we'll talk about the Unit 5, a distance education dual mode institution in a regular university. As I told in the beginning, some of the regular universities are also offering the distance education programs through one of its department or a school. So how those things are managed, we will talk about with the help of the IDOL, Institute of Distance and Open Learning of the dual mode institution. So this what constitutes the unit block 4 of our case studies units. And can I move to the next? Yeah. Can you see the slides all? I hope you
Yes,
are all
sir.
seeing. Now I
Yes,
come
we
to
have
sir.
seen it, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
yeah. Now thank you. Now I come back to the last block of this course. I discussed briefly the overview of the 4 blocks. Now I am coming to the block 5, the management of change. All these times, 4 blocks earlier, we talked about the school education, we talked about the higher education general, we talked about the distance education in particular, and how to manage the distance education. How I jumped from those higher education, distance education to management of change, which has nothing to do with it. Don't you think so? Yes. Because why I entered into this block management of change? Because there is a specific reason behind that. What is that specific reason? As a student of distance education, you have completed the 2 years program and you got the degree, management MA program, Master of Arts in Distance Education degree you have got. And tomorrow, with the basis of this, your country management or country policy makers asked you to establish a open university in your country or establish a distance teaching department in our regular university. Why they ask it? Distance education, open universities are coming across the world, and distance education institutions coming across the world in the regular universities also, because distance education is seen as an instrument to bring change in the education sector. Distance education is seen as an instrument, distance education is seen as innovation. It's innovation or innovative tool or innovative instrument. It is visualized to bring a change. I think that's the why I say is because you are all adults, you are working in various departments in the schools, colleges, or governmental departments, governmental organizations. You are working, you are matured, and then you are all adults. You want to study MA, you cannot go to regular universities because you are already started working in different countries, in different institutions. So when with the help of distance education, you are studying, you are able to study. Otherwise, as a fresh student, do you think that you can go back to the college and university and start doing MA program in distance education? I doubt. I think I doubt. That is the reason. So naturally, distance education is bringing a change to many adults who have left the higher education, joined the job, and entered into the responsibilities of life and carry forward the many other responsibilities as a family, as a man. Still you want to continue. That's what the education is seen as a lifelong. It's a continuous and lifelong learning. So that is the case which is providing the distance education as an instrument. So that's where. So now why is that instrument? To bring the change in society, to bring the overall change. So that's where the management of change is introduced. As a student, you have to understand that. When you understand the bit of management of change, as a tomorrow, as a head of an institution, you want to start, you will understand why you are starting, how that particular change of this through distance education can bring in the society, what factors will facilitate, what factors will hamper your institution, how to manage those institutions, open and distance learning institution, and what are the various organizational mechanisms for self-renewal. And these are the various issues involved in this management of change. So naturally, with the help of this blog, you will become the student of distance education, having a fair idea or a fair understanding of the management of change process. So tomorrow, when you become a planner or a policy maker or administrator in distance education, you can talk about it. Okay, I think that's how the 5 blocks. I think content. I think few of you must have gone through the material available in the soft format, and these 5 blocks you have to go and read those things. I think this is the brief overview I have given it regarding the first all the 5 blocks of this particular course, MDE 414, Tight Lead Management of Distance Education. Let me stop it for a few minutes, and then if you have any specific query or that seek a clarification on this particular course, I will talk about that. And then before I move forward, any clarity, any question or any doubt, anything you can ask.
Sir, I have a question.
What is your name?
Angela.
Angela. Yeah, tell.
Yes, so for the assignment, shall we remain, focus on the materials that have been provided, or can we relate to other countries or other examples?
Yeah, you got a good question. Angela from Mauritius, isn't it?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Where are you working? You are working in a...
I work at a university. I'm a teacher, and this course is going to help me in my blending learning, especially blending learning, because blended learning. Sorry, because we are using that technique mostly. We are doing some courses online and face to face. So, I mean, English literature and cultural studies.
Okay, English and cultural studies. Okay. Now, what level of students you teach?
Undergrad.
Undergraduate. Okay. The University of Mauritius or some other university?
Yeah. Yes.
University of Mauritius.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you asked a nice question. What was that? The question is related to what did you ask, Angela?
Yes, so for the assignment, shall we focus on the example?
One is that the material which is given to you in the soft form, so you have to go through that material. Okay.
Okay.
After that, when you are writing the assignments also must have come, or it will come back. It will come to you soon. I think it is already there in the platform, if I am correct.
Already there, yeah.
Yes. So while attempting those assignments, you take the basic theory from the soft copies, and you can give the relevant example from your own context as well. Not necessary that you give only the Indian examples, not necessary that you give only the UK examples, not necessary. Even if it is given in the course material, if you feel that the concept is appropriately relevant to your context, give that example. Am I clear?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question?
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Tell.
My name is
What's
Aminu.
your name? Aminu. Aminu from
Yes, from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Where are you working, Aminu? You are working in a teaching or non-teaching department or the ministry? Where are you working? In a governmental, non-governmental?
I am working in the Ministry of Education. I am a teacher, in short.
Okay, Ministry of Education, Nigeria, teacher.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. What is your doubt? What is your clarification you want to say? Ask.
Yes. While delivering your presentation, you've been saying we are going to be awarded MA, that is Master of Arts.
Yeah, MA, Master of Arts in Distance Education. Yes.
Yes, but we've
both the years, year 1 and year 2, you have to complete. Then you will get the MA, Master of Arts in Distance Education. Yes.
Okay. Does that mean when we finish the postgraduate diploma, we are going to join masters?
Yeah. I think that is all operational issues where the Dehradun Regional Center will or the agency which is coordinated from your country also, you can ask it. For me, those who have joined for a MA in Distance Education 2 years program, once you complete the first year, then naturally you will be moving to the second year. Even if you are not completed also, it may be out of 5 courses you have completed it 2 or 3, but still you can move to the second year and then try to complete the the balance courses along with the second year courses. Is it okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you. But another question is, how many months are we going to spend studying for the postgraduate diploma?
I think maybe because it is a little late started because of governmental arrangements and governmental understandings, Ministry of our external ministry and with your country's ministry, it took a lot of time. Otherwise, you were joined in the year of July, is it? July this year.
Yes.
July 2022 means almost 6 months are already passed.
Yes.
So naturally, the exams for this will be sometime in June or July this year, 23. So 1 year it will be over.
Okay.
Okay. In the process, what we are going to do is try to finish it at least latest by end of March next month, so that you will complete the courses. Meanwhile, you will be doing assignments and submitting also. And after that, the final examination will be in the month of June or July, most probably June or July. June, preferably June. Yeah.
And after the exams, we are going to be issued postgraduate diploma certificate.
Those who clear all the 5 courses, you will get the diploma, the certificate of in the postgraduate diploma education. Suppose you have not completed all the 5 courses, so naturally you will not get the diploma certificate. So, but still,
Thank you, sir.
You can move to the second year, but try to finish the balance. Maybe they may give another 1 chance or 2 chances. That's the logistics. I don't know much about it. They will inform you. Once given the extra chances, you try to finish it and then go for the second year. And once you complete all, first year it is 5 courses. Second year we have another 5 courses. Total 10 courses in the 2 years program to reach the to get the degree. Is it okay?
It's okay, sir. But is continuing? Are we going to apply again, or we are just moving automatically?
That I don't know. That's what I said. These are the logistics. So you have to ask the which agency is coordinating this aspect from your country. Number 1.
Okay.
Number 2, the Dehradun Regional Center must have given us some emails to contact them. You can ask them as well. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Number 3 is we have the program coordinator, Professor Anita Priyadarshini, where she talked to you on the course 412, 5 and 2. You already talked. And
yes,
we can also, when she comes back, she will be coming to the classes maybe next week also. You can ask her as well. Okay, there are 3 clear sources where you can approach all your logistical and administrative operational problems what the Aminu has raised. And maybe these are the things which must be there along with the other colleagues as well. I think that's good.
Thank you, sir. I'm sorry for too much questions, but I have another one again.
Okay. Maybe you are helping others, Aminu.
Thank you. About the issue of the assignments.
Pardon?
About the issue of the assignments.
Well, assignments, I think Angela has already told that assignments are already loaded on the platform.
Yes, but my question is different from hers.
What is that?
Can we submit separately? Maybe I finish number 1. Can I submit it before finishing the number 2, or I must finish for the whole part?
No, not necessarily. You should wait for everything. Once you finish the 1, you submit it. You can start the number 2, second assignment. No problem.
Thank you, sir.
No. Only thing is, what Angela asked, I responded. When you are writing assignment, you try to give the examples, not only examples given in the course material, the examples from your own country's context you can give.
Thank you, sir. I've got that one.
Yeah, thank you.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Who is speaking?
Nora Sabaruna.
Nora.
Yes, sir.
Which country?
My question is about the assignment also too.
Which country you are speaking from, Nora?
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Where are you working?
Kano States.
Which one?
Kano State, Nigeria, Kano States.
Okay. You are in the teaching side or you are in the managerial side? Where are you working? That's what I want to know.
Teaching side, sir.
Teaching. Where you are teaching at the school, college, university?
College.
College. What
Saadat Dream College of Education.
College of Education. So your subject is education?
Yes, sir.
You ask your question now.
Yes, regarding the assignments, my question is that I want to know how many marks allocated to assignment and how many marks allocated to
Okay.
exam?
Okay. The assignment weightage for each course. For each course, you have to submit one assignment. The weightage of that assignment is 30%. 30% of the overall weightage of the program, the course. Okay.
Yeah.
So particular this course, my course, you have submitted assignments, you have attempted 30% weightage, and rest of the 70% weightage is in the final examination or the term and examination.
What about attendance?
Attendance, yes, I think maybe when I see as a teacher, many of the students are not following. So naturally, I called and I will see that maybe operationally what decided, I don't know. The agencies involved, but I feel as a teacher, yes, most of the people should attend. If you don't attend, I know that it will be reflected in the assignment. I can see that one. My opinion will be accordingly. As a teacher, I can only assess the assignment. So,
sir.
Those students who attend the classes and do the assignment, those students who have not attended the class and do the assignments, very well I can at least assess in the assignment. Yeah, that much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nora. Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello.
Yes. Hello.
All right. I have a question. A simple question.
What is your name?
Matthews Kanchembere from Malawi.
Can you spell it a small first name or second name?
It's Matthews, M-A-T-T-H-E-W-S.
M-A double?
Yeah, M-A-T-T-H-E-W-S. That is Matthews.
Yeah.
Then Kanchembere is K-A-N-T-C-E-M-B-E-R-E.
Okay.
Yes.
You are also from Nigeria?
No, from Malawi. From Malawi.
Malawi. Where are you working?
I'm teaching. I'm teaching at Sedin Secondary School, Lakeview Secondary School.
Secondary school.
Yes, and then adjunct lecture at university.
Okay. What is your subject?
I do teach history and English.
Okay. History and English. What is your question? Tell.
All right. My question is, if you can look at the program, we have two categories of students: those who are doing PGDD and Masters of Arts.
Yes.
Now my question is, for those who are doing masters, after they finish the first year, will they be awarded the postgraduate diploma, or they will wait until they finish their masters?
You see, the first year is common to both. Okay, both the groups. What you raised.
Right.
First year is common. So even those who have admitted into PGDDE, they have to do all the 5 courses. Those who have admitted into MDE also have to do the 5 courses. Okay. The second point is those who have completed the 5 courses, you will get the PGDDE. Those who have completed the 5 courses from that category also will get the PGDDE.
All right.
Yeah. Is it okay?
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, let me move to the next. Yeah. If the slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, slide is visible.
Yes, sir.
That is the unit 1 of the first block. Management of first block we discussed earlier. That is the education systems management title is the first block, and the first unit is that management functions and processes and overview. I said that these are all basically taken from the management science. What are the management functions? What are the process components involved? So we'll get an overview so that before you discuss about higher education or distance education, that's why you included this. I'll not go into the deep. I know that you are all matured adult learners who have bundles of work experience. I don't think that I need to go deep into that. This particular unit structure is okay. Introduction objectives will always be there, and the systems. What are the systems concept? I think those students, those colleagues who have done the education or management science or commerce, economics, etc. The systems concept, what are the systems, and then management functions, what are the management functions, that's what I said. What is administration? Generally, we use the term administration in various developing countries, and how it is different from the management. These are two terms interchangeably used, but they have a different connotations and the conceptual foundations. That's what is administration and management. And next one is leadership. What is leadership and creativity? These are all any manager has to function. When manager, I'm working as a senior manager in the company, suppose, then I have to know about the administration management, whether I have a leadership qualities to do that function, whether I have the skills of planning and controlling and organizing the whole organization and leading and motivating, how to lead a team if I am a manager in a organization. So these are all the issues which we will be talking about in this particular unit. And then another section in this unit talks about process. I said title is management processes. What are the I explained? Management processes, functions and processes. Under processes, you come to policy make formulation. Policy formulation is not a function, it's a process. As a manager, while planning an institution, I should know what is the policy formulation is involved and what are the decision-making process and what are the planning processes. Planning as a function, we talked earlier. Now we are planning as a process, we'll deal it here. And then creating the structures. Organizations, when you are a head of the institution, tomorrow you are going to start a open university in our country, actually you should know what you are creating. And if you want to start the open university or any other university in general, what structures are you needed? I think universities cannot operate in air, in vacuum. You have to have a certain structure, certain units, certain faculties, certain schools, what are they? You have to visualize that. And the controlling process, any organization, whether it is industrial, whether it is a business organization, or whether it is a education institution, controlling is important. So I think that as the controlling process will come. And then of course, with that we will come to the end of this unit. And now after completing this unit, you should be able to, unit 1 of the block 1, describe the various concepts, organization system, that's what I've already explained. Identify the major functions that the management of organizations involve, that we will be achieving the objective. Analyze the process associated with the performance of major function. While talking about the functions, the process of it, if you know the process, then only you will be able to perform the function of a manager. So naturally, suppose if a manager doesn't know what is the policy formulation, how to formulate the policy, if you as a head of the institution, you don't know what type of decisions, how decisions are taken, how right decisions are taken, if you don't know, your function as a manager, your function as the head of the institution will be failure. So that's where the relation between management functions and management processes with the performance of management function. And explain the roles and responsibilities of managers in any organizations. That's what the objectives you will achieve once you complete this particular unit. So now we will briefly touch upon various things. The systems concept. A system is defined as an aggregate of several interrelated subsystems. Naturally, suppose you take the education system, university as a system you take, and within the university there will be various subsystems. What is that? Department of Economics, Department of Commerce, Department of Psychology, and the examination department, administration department, finance department. These are all subsystems. They are all subsystems of any organization. The system has the following number of parts or subsystems is called. When we put together in a specific manner, that becomes the whole system. I think that's a very simple way, very crisp way of talking. Distance education also various subsystems is there. If all those subsystems put together only, you will have a system. If all those systems work together, then the real system or the big system starts working. Okay, I think boundaries will be there in each subsystem. Suppose examination system is the rare responsibility. Examination system cannot ask the academic faculties by what to teach and how to teach. No, these are the boundaries. The boundaries are there for each subsystem clearly. Of course, the interrelationship will be there. Once I teach my faculty and my students, the examination to be conducted by the examination. So that is there. So between these two, there will be a relation. That's where between the faculty and the examination grant, there will be relation. That's what interrelationship or interdependence among the various subsystems. The among the subsystems, yeah, I think that's what I said, flows that exist between such the flow information. Yeah, suppose you take an industry. Industry, there will be a material procurement section. There will be material needed, so they will procure the materials, and that material is stored in a storehouse. That material has to be given to the production unit. I think that's what, unless production unit asks how much material I need, then naturally you as a supply department will not be able to supply. So this is how the flow of information among the various subsystems. I think that's important. Unless you have that flow of information, the interdependence will be very difficult, and overall, if the one subsystem is not working, so it has a chain effect on the other subsystems, particularly in the case of educational institution, that's more. Okay. The feedback and the control process and mechanisms. Example of the university as an organization. I think that's what I have already talked to you. I have taken example as a university. University as an organization, as an institution, we have several subsystems. That is what I said. Courses offer curricular development and setting the standards and achievement of the students is the responsibility of the faculty. So that's one major subsystem. And then, of course, admission division will be admitting the student, finance division will be collecting the fees and maintaining their records, and examination unit will conduct the exams, and buildings, etc. The construction of buildings are the responsibility of the estate management or construction department, classroom, laboratories, student. See the various subsystems. I think when education system, an institution has so many subsystems, in the industry or the business organizations also will have various subsystems. The relation between the subsystems and the connection is there. So the clarity of the systems and subsystems will move to the management functions. Management is about directing the energies. I think the general definition, you all know that, you must have read here and there. What is the management? Management is nothing but directing as a manager of an organization, as a CEO, what is my responsibility? Direct the energies and resources of my organization to purposefully coordinate the various subsystems and subunits of my organization to achieve the goals. Is it clear? A very clear definition of management. After to do that, if I want to achieve the goals of the organization, I have to function various function. What is that function? Policy making, planning as a function. I have to plan, I have to make policies in the institution, I have to organize various components. At the same time, I have to motivate many colleagues, and then I have to communicate. If I, as a manager, as a head of the organization, as a CEO of my organization, if I don't communicate to the my managers and the supervisors, the things won't move. That's where the communication and monitoring, whether as a head of the organization, I have to monitor all the functions of the university, all the functions of the things. If I don't monitor, if I don't control, things will not go as you plan. That's where controlling. So we say sometimes it is too much of a supervision. It's like a policing. No, it's not like a policing, but in the organizations, policing will protect the people in the society. But in the same way, they are also supervising, they are also controlling. But here the controlling means whether things are going according to my plan. If the things are not going according to my plan, something wrong. What is that wrong? So if I don't identify that wrong at a particular stage and rectify that, the whole thing will go in a wrong way. That's where the controlling helps to, at various stages, to check and see some modification is needed. That's what the controlling important. Then coming, as I just a little earlier, the between administration and management. Administration is generally seen as a thinking top-level functions focused on the determination of objectives and enterprise. Yes, management had to move with the doing than thinking. So that's how the management means doing the things, getting things done. That's what is. Administration is seen as a broader function, top-level function of the organization. Top level has to spend more on administrative activity, and one most down the management is, that's one way of looking at the difference between administration and management. More time is spent on management activity, but Another view of the difference between these two, administration management, is management as a comprehensive generic term that include the entire process of planning. That's very another view or another school of thought. The difference between the administration management is this one: comprehensive generic term to carry out the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. It's a very broad. How they have seen the administration, you see in the second bullet point, the governance of non-business organizations like government. Government is not a business; it is their role. Army, defense of the country, and a church. When they do this non-business organization, generally that is called as administration, while the governance of business is also called management. That's what it is. Business institutions and industry is seen more with the management, and other aspects like governing the country, governing the province, governing a district, or the defense forces, and the administrator of the church, etc., is seen as a non-business institution, and more of it. That's basically seen. In other words, chief domain of management is seen because industry has to manage properly because economic performance is seen from the effective management. And of course, administration do have the economic consequences. Those, suppose in the government, economic consequences are not main one, but economic consequences will be seen that how country is run, how the army defense forces are run. So this is a basic difference between the administration. Is seen that management is a much generic term to include in the planning organization with a focus on the because any industry organization or any business organization related to the economic performance. Of course, this industry has not well in this financial year, so they have to improve their performance because their performance has gone down if you compare with the previous. That's how the management is seen. And then the other function of the management is leadership and creativity. I think any leader heading a management, higher education institutions or an industry or any for that matter, they should have a leadership qualities. I think that's where if I am not having a leadership quality, if I am heading the institution, I may not be able to do the justice to that. I think, yeah. And then creativity involves application of a person's mental ability and naturally. You say that to bring a change, to bring new things in the institution, whether it is industry, business organization, or the institution, education institution. Okay, my leader of my institution has a very highly creative. Why I said it? His creativity, he brings the new things, he brings the new innovations, he brings the new programs, academic program, and actually institution will be moving in a good and effective direction. That's where so leadership and creativity for an institutional head or the manager is important. And creativity in any field, it's creativity, you know that. Every field is needed the creativity, whether he is heading the industrial organization, whether it's a business organization or educational institution. And the creativity and the problem-solving approach and accepted as a creative process. Here, how you solve the problem. Naturally, one example I can give is that if you are a creative person, your problem-solving ability will be more. You will be having a different skills of problem-solving. Naturally, if I do a problem-solving in my organization with a particular skill or the thing, you have a different thing, you will do it in a different way. So that it depends on the creativity of the institutional head. Elements involved in the process are collecting the facts. To do that, you need a different information. Actually, as a decision maker, to solve the problem, without information, you cannot solve the problem. And that's where another example of creativity is management is the ability of the leadership transforming organizations. Yeah. Creativity in management is the ability of the leadership in transforming. Yeah, that's what it is. You are creative, but do you have the ability? And then creativity in management is the ability of the leadership. The leader is able to transform the organization with the help of a creativity. I think that's how one has to see that. And management functions turn out to be transactional, that is policy making, planning, coordinating, monitoring, controlling. These are all transformational functions, go beyond immediate. These are not a routine task, whether it is a planning, whether it is a coordinating. This is a major task of the manager which go beyond the routine function in changing the your institution into something big, something effective, something popular. So that's where the planning and controlling we have already done. I will not go into the deep into that. Planning is an intellectual process that requires managers to think before acting. Yeah, it's an intellectual process. Thinking in advance, what, when, and how to do things, and by whom is at the core of a planning. Plan as an institutional head, I am planning which faculty will launch which programs. That's it. That's a hierarchy. Which faculty, if it is industry, which department has to do it? Whether material procurement unit here, material supply unit, the production unit, distribution unit, like that. In the same way, the institution have a different thinking, and then naturally the planning is an intellectual thinking in advance of what to do, when to do, and how to do, and who will do it. I think that's what the core issues for the plan. And we brought the people who are organized together in the first place. You have to bring the right people. I think that's very important. You have a plan, good plan. To execute that plan, you have to recruit a good people, capable people, and relevant to the task. I think this person can do this task. You have given to me, which I cannot perform, then actually I will not be able to finish it. Actually, the responsibility you as head of the institution, you have recruited me, I could not do according to your expectation. Then necessary to review and redefine the purpose itself from time to time. Yeah, naturally, the controlling will help review. Controlling is a reviewing means, but it's the same thing. It helps to rectify. That's what I told you. If something is going a little different way than planned, can you set right? Can you rectify it? In the list of management functions, planning comes at the top. Yes. You as a manager, you as head of the institution, you have to plan first. Without planning, what control you will have? So, at the planning at the top, controlling at the bottom, not at the bottom. It is a continuous process. Controlling, starting planning. You have planned the things. You started operationalization. You're doing that simultaneously controlling. The day you start the planning activity and starting the activity, control also goes parallelly or simultaneously. That's why the two generally go together, because yeah, that's what I said. We effectively only if there are good controls that help you measure the achievement at different stages. As you proceed to reaching out what you have set out to accomplish. That's what precisely. Planning consists of setting of the goals, objectives. I think planning determines where the organization is going, what approaches it will adopt. That's what I briefly told. The purpose of planning is to coordinate the activities within the organization. Planning brings higher degree of rationality. These are where the major objectives of the planning exercise. And the planning is concerned with the future. Yeah, any planning is related to the future. The moment you talk about the future, it is not easy. It is risky. Suppose you say that, Professor Murthy, do you have a plan for your future in your life? Yeah, I do have a plan. But always planning future is you can only visualize it. What is going out to be, what will turn out to be, it is not in our hands. So that's why planning of any organization, planning of any one's own activities, one's own future, a risky process. It doesn't mean that you stop planning. No, you have to take a risk, you have to take a challenge and then plan. Another key feature of planning is flexibility. The plan should have a flexibility. Some people say that I have planned, I will not change. I'm very rigid. No, in the life you have planned 4 things. One has not worked out. You have to change. You have to be flexible to make a change or amendment to that plan. And that's what the flexibility. A good plan always provides a review, scope for modification, and that's why midway corrections, all those things will be happening. Controlling. Planning we talked, the controlling as a function. Close relationship between planning and controlling I have already told. Control supports planning in 2 ways. First, it helps to review the current goals, strategies. While doing so, draws attention to situations required. It's useful. Controlling as we comes at the end of the list of management functions because it is concerned with what? Comparing events with plans. That's what. Controlling, okay, you have completed the 6 months of the activity, or you have completed 1 year of the activity which you plan in your organization. There you control and learn, look back what you have planned and what you have achieved. So when you compare with these plans and the controlling exercise, this thing, then you realize it. Few of the things what we planned in this year could not be achieved. Why it is not achieved? What are the reasons for that? You will rectify that before you move to the second year of operation. That's where the controlling helps you. After the planning and controlling, the other function of the management's is a manager's function is organizing. Organizing is a major management function after planning and controlling. What involves? So in our organization, you have planned many things. To do that plans, to execute that plan into actions, there are various activities. You have to do many activities. Suppose you have a curriculum. That curriculum has to be for a particular MA program. The curriculum has to be transacted by the many teachers, not the one teacher. Suppose in undergraduate program there are 4 subjects, so 4 different faculties are needed, and 4 different classes, 4 different buildings. If it is science based, you need a laboratories. If it is a practical based, you need a workshops. All those things, activities to be performed. Grouping these activities into a logical pattern. If it is industry, you have to have a grouping these activities: material production, material supply unit, material procurement unit, the production unit, which transform the raw material into products. All those things, activities are to group, and assigning the activities to specific people, specific position. Suppose the material supply unit has to see that the required amount of material is procured, stored, and supplied and distributed to the concerned people. So this is how the organization is a management function. And then structuring the organization. What is the structuring the organization? Having identified the activities, you have to need a people. You have need the employees. You have to need the to execute those activities of a particular unit by the different people. That's where the principles of organization, concepts like accountability, authority, delegation, all those things will be. Once suppose there are 4 in the college, there are 5 departments: economics department, political science department, commerce department. So you need a faculty for each department, and each department is headed by head of the department. Actually, they have to plan their own things. In the Department of Economics, Department of Political Science, they plan. That's why. And then head of the department should have a certain amount of authority, certain amount of power. So then only the head of the department will be able to get the work done by the faculty. Suppose if the head of the department is there, X faculty member teach and the Y faculty member doesn't teach, who has to monitor? It is the head of the department monitor and report to the institutional head. So this is how the authority and power flows by the various positions, and then use those powers. In public organization, we see that the head of the organization has the authority and asks people to do a certain job. Yeah, public or governmental organizations, head of the department. But in the governmental sector, in the private sector, naturally the CEO has a right to get the work done. And CEO, if I don't do as an employee in the IT sector, I may be sacked by the authority. I may be sacked by the head of the institution. When it comes to the public funded institution or the governmental institution, and the head of the institution have authority to get work from me, if I don't do the work, he will not be able to punish me because of certain other weaknesses of the governmental system or public funded institution. Responsibility obligating to do something. Yeah, I think as an employee, as a teacher, I have certain responsibility to perform. So my responsibility assigned to me is I take the classes of the concerned class, subject, concerned course for you from the various countries. I think to do that, leading and motivating is another important thing. So we talked about so far in the management functions. What are the management processes to carry out those functions? Let me put it in that. To major functions involved in the management organization need the processes to perform those functions, what we discussed so far. I hope you got the clarity, which we discussed now, these process components. In order to make you familiar with the broader concerns of distance education organization, we shall confine ourselves to certain major processes only. What is that? Policy formulation. Organization need a policy with their when the objectives are already defined. We have defined the organizational objectives, and to execute those objectives, we need a policy. It is difficult to say where objectives and policies begin. I think objectives and policies go hand in hand rather than where it is starting, where one is starting, where the other one is ending. It's not like that. So to perform those objectives, In any organization, in any department, you need a policies to start. So the overlap between the two, yes, it will be overlap will be there. Objectives are going to go. The policy outlines the method or practice that we will use to get there. I think that's a basically very good example given it. Objective is this organization has to reach this particular level of performance or this level of excellence. So that's an objective. To achieve those objectives, you need you cannot simply reach there without any inputs. That is the policies or inputs to achieve those objectives. I think that's where objectives are the ends, policies are the means to achieve those ends. You can put it in that way. And then, of course, the other process component is the decision making. As I said, that a good decision is always based on adequate information, necessary application of mind, all those things. I say that. We also say that, okay, my colleague is very good in decision making, but I am not that good like him. So, because what is the difference is that maybe adequate information, if I have or not, to make a particular decision, even in the family. If you want to plan your family's economic aspect in the coming 6 months, you need to know that how much money is going in various activities to run the family, how much for my kitchen, how much for my students' education, how much my family entertainment. All that information is needed to take an appropriate decision, balancing the various activities and them. So I need to be critical, I need to be analytical. For that, I need to be a sharp mind. That's what the decision making is all about. Planning deals with future and hence filled with uncertainty. This is already tell that. Planning talks about future. Whenever you think about the future, nothing is in our hand. That's what it is, a risky exercise. Planning is a risky, but it's a challenge. It is a challenge to plan the thing. If you don't plan, you will probably be doing things in a what you call ad hoc manner, and then actually where you want to reach, where you will reach, there is no guarantee. That's why you have to plan. Forecasting, yes, planning involves forecasting also. You have to visualize the future. If you want to visualize the future, you have to have some basic data. Suppose you say that, okay, the country's enrollment in higher education, whether it is in Nigeria, Mauritius, or India, Malawi, so enrollment is this month. If I want to increase the higher education enrollment in the coming 5 years to this much, you have to have a data. You have to have a forecasting. That's what they in the economic students, they know that how the forecasting the economy, what rate it will grow, etc. These are all the forecasts involved with the data and forecast involved in the future activity. And then, of course, forecast is the first step of the planning. Accurate forecasting is, suppose the weather forecasting, you all know that. Suppose in the global warming, the things are changing. Naturally, what we used to see for the 3 decades back in our country's weather will not be the same this year because of the global warming. So that's where the weather scientists will forecast it, what will be the scenario. I think one example I can give is in Delhi, where I stay, naturally the weather in particular really in the month of September, October, November, December, it's a winter. So naturally last 2 decades, the winter is okay, tolerable, etc. But in this particular winter has gone to a very peak and a very severe weather of winter, which we used to see it almost 4 decades back, not recently, we have not seen a severe. So this is how the forecasting, why this happened, when it happened. So today I saw in the news that, the winter is stretched beyond the expected date because of the global warming. So these things will be analyzed by the particular people in the field. So weather scientists will do all those things. That's all the forecasting back and forth. I think that's reliable. And strategic planning, the institution should have a strategic planning to reach the goals. Suppose, what is the strategic planning? What will be my institution in the coming 1 year? What will be my institution after 2 years, after 5 years? So that's how, while planning it, I have to see that. That's where what we call the strategic planning. And then operational plan. To achieve those strategic plans, we have to have a, suppose you cannot reach the annual plan targets without looking into the quarterly what you have achieved, half-yearly what you have achieved, how you assess that with the help of a controlling mechanism. That's what I talked about. Once first quarter is failure or not made the targets, so what are the issues? Can I rectify that? So based on the first quarter experience, rectify that, go for the second quarter, third quarter. That's how the things operational plan will help. Of course, to run the organization after planning and organization, various activities you have identified, various practices you have grouped, then you have to recruit the people. But that's what every industry, whether it's a business, whether it's a college or a university, you need to recruit the people. You have to appoint the people, right people with the right qualification, right skills and abilities. And once you admit them, you have to train them if needed because they are not familiar with the work situation. The training will help them. After that, how you appraise their performance, what will you delegate to the recruited people, and what extent you can decentralize the activities. All those things, what you call the creating the structure, is another process component of that. Yeah, and then the controlling process. Yeah, controlling process is the what we have discussed at length. I will not go into that. The controlling process, controlling as a function, controlling as a process. You have to need the various components like what mechanisms are there, how you control the thing. Suppose you as the head of the institution, you cannot go to every classroom whether a particular faculty is taking a class or not. You cannot do that. The principal cannot go to the 100 classrooms, and vice chancellor cannot go to the 100 classrooms. So that's where the mechanism, he will develop a mechanism. That's what is the process. What is that mechanism? Vice chancellor will ask the head of the department. Every department has a head. It is the responsibility of the head of the department to see that the faculty is going to the class or not. If the faculty is going to class, whether they are teaching or not. If they are teaching it, how the students are faring. This is what the control mechanism is all about. Okay, that's why you need a mechanisms for the controlling. You need some instruments. Suppose the head of the department has to report back to the head of the institution. Actually, we will through some instruments like a pro forma, like a questionnaire, like some tabular system or some based on ICT's workflow, etc. All those are the instruments for the controlling mechanism. I think let me stop it. That's what we have come to the end of the unit 1. So, friends, I hope you are there to yeah, I think it's a marathon session. Yes, hope you are all able to follow what I said so far. Angela, yes. Is it little clearer to you, or I have dumped with information which has gone? I don't think that. You are all sharp enough, I am sure, with a work experience at your end. I know that. Yeah. Any clarity? Any questions needed? Nothing.
Hello.
So if there are no questions.
Hello.
Yes. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Buhari Adam Ibrahim.
Nora.
I have a question, sir.
Tell me.
I have a question.
I think rest of the colleagues, please switch off the mics. I will give a chance one after the other. If all of you switch on the mics, neither I can speak or I can listen. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, please, Aminu. Who is speaking? Aminu.
It's Buhari.
Yeah, tell.
Hello.
Yeah, please ask your question.
And my question is, what if we fail in our forecasting? What is the solution?
You have to find out the reasons why you have failed in your forecast.
No, if we fail,
yeah,
what is the solution? Are we going to reforecast or what?
Before you reforecast, I have to see why I failed. What are the reasons for my failures? Maybe I have not taken the right data while forecasting it, so that led to the failure of mine forecasting. So naturally, let me correct my data on which basis I have done it. So naturally, I can reforecast it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Any other? Yeah. So,
Hello?
yeah. Anyhow, who is speaking?
Yes.
Matthews. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
Matthews, you tell.
My question is,
Uh,
I remember when we were doing our first degree,
yeah.
those who were taking the first class, that is A, extraordinary results, they were put on the dean's list. I don't know with this course, to those who will be doing extraordinary pertaining to the grades, is there any incentives that will be given to such students, especially those who will be getting the higher grades, A, for example? Thank you.
Matthews. I can only say that you have joined a program. You are a mature learner. You are a mature learner with experience and qualifications. If you put your best efforts, you will get the A grade in all the courses, and you will get ultimately A grade in the degree as well. Okay. So tomorrow you can say, you can go to your government who wanted to have a open university. Say, Mister, look, I have MA degree in distance education with A grade. Murthy has MA degree from the same university with the C grade. That itself is a reward. Whether he will choose the appointing authority, A grade Matthews or a C grade Murthy, the choice is his. That's all.
Oh, thank you.
Hello.
Hello, Abu Bakr.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Where are you from, Abu Bakr?
I'm from Nigeria, sir.
Nigeria. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Where are you teaching or working?
Sir, I'm working at Sokoto State and secondary schools.
Okay. What you teach?
I'm teaching chemistry.
Okay, very good. What is your question?
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm just coming late because of the phone network.
Pardon?
I'm coming late. I'm sorry, sir, due to a phone networks.
Okay, you joined late.
Yes.
Okay.
Due to a poor network. But the network is not good. That is the reason.
I could not catch you. What you are exactly telling?
No, I just coming late because of the poor network. That is, the network is not good.
Okay. Why you got late?
No, the network, sir. We have a problem with network. So that is the reason why I didn't join the...
No problem. Maybe go through the material or what you...
Okay.
Today I talked about the total overview of my course, this particular course. Okay?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
What exactly I will be focusing in the total course, and then out of that I have taken a first block of the course and the first unit. I completed only one unit today along with the overview of the course. So you just have a look at it, and next class we will discuss it if you have any need any class. Okay, Abu Bakr? Is it okay? Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Good afternoon, sir.
Marish, you are speaking? Yeah.
Yes, Maurice Insonga from Zambia. I'm a teacher by profession.
Zambia. Yeah.
Yes, a teacher by profession,
Yeah.
teaching in a secondary school.
Okay.
Subject agricultural science.
Okay.
I have a request to make, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, looking at the slides, the font size is very small. Some of us we have poor eyesight. So I'm requesting, if at all, the font size can be increased in the next session.
I think, okay, I have used the full screen, so to see that everybody will see that. I don't know what problem. Maybe certainly we will consider your suggestion, because when I use a full screen, because when I'm speaking, you are not seeing me, because I wanted to full screen, so that maybe from your side you take the help of somebody. It is a full screen. Maybe you are not able to get the full screen on your screen. When you see the full screen, even a smaller size will be visible for everybody. Okay, just look at it from that. Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Moses.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where are you from?
I'm from Nigeria, sir.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm a school owner here in Nigeria. I run a private primary and secondary school.
What do you teach?
I teach sciences. I teach science subjects.
Okay, what is your question?
So actually, the presentation was very engaging, but
Thank you.
you seems to be fast with the presentation, sir.
Fast?
So that is yes, sir.
Oh,
Then I have a challenge with the last slide, talking about controlling. So there are some bullets there, the basic, the instrument, the method. So I don't know if you can recap the controlling, the process of the controlling. What is the meaning of the basis, and what are the instruments that can be used in ensuring control in the organization? Then what are the methods?
Okay. I'll talk about it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Anything else? Yeah, I think Moses, I did not elaborate it that, because process I elaborated, controlling process. I think how to go parallelly with the planning process to see whether plans are going in the right direction. So you as a head of the institution, you have planned the activities, and you have to see that those activities are going according to plan with the help of a control. What is the control?
Yes, sir.
What is the control? Because you have to go to almost 25 classes in 1 hour. Will you do that? You will not do that. You will have no time to do that. That is where
Yes, sir.
you need some basic mechanisms or basic instruments to carry out those controlling exercise. Suppose you appointed 3 to supervisory colleagues. 3 to supervisory colleagues whose responsibility will, when they don't have the classes, they should go and see that which classes are going, which faculty are teaching, which faculty are not teaching, which faculty is entering into the class right there. All those things with the help of a certain formats or instrument, some proforma, some questionnaire, some other mechanism or a flowchart. So these are called instruments. So this with the help. Suppose if he comes and orally informs, you will not believe it. He has to fill that proforma. He has to fill, the supervisor has to fill that proforma. Supervisor has to fill that questionnaire and give you, so these are my observations. This is my data. That's how the basic subject controlling process, the instruments are used in such a manner. Once you go through the material, you will get more clarity on that. Okay?
It's all right, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Moses. Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Najatu.
Yes, sir.
Najatu. Yeah. Where are you from, Najatu?
I'm from Nigeria, sir.
Nigeria. Where are you working?
I work with a private organization.
Which organization?
Women Initiative for Sustainable Community Development.
Community development. Okay. Yeah. Tell me, what is your question?
My question is, in the planning process, we have the forecasting, which is the first stage, then the strategic planning, and then the operational planning. So my question is, what if the operational plan fails? So how are you going to come up with another strategic plan? Is it possible for the operational plan to fail after the forecasting and the strategic plan? Thank you.
What is your subject, Najatu? What is your basic subject? I'm asking you, Najatu.
Sir.
What is your basic subject? Discipline?
Biology education.
Education. Okay. What you asked is the strategic planning. Say what my institution will be in the coming 5 years or coming 2 years. That is my strategic plan. Okay. You say that when you plan for 5 years, you will not wait for the 5 years to assess that plan. After 1 year, first year, at the end of the first year, you will see that what you wanted to achieve in the number 1 year has achieved or not. If it is not achieved, why it is not achieved? So that you take certain measures. This is again a controlling. So you are controlling the plan, you are controlling the strategic plan. So what are the reasons? So you will take certain measures. What are the lacunae for not able to achieve the first year planned targets, so that you can rectify and move to the second year along with this the backlog of the first year. That's how the strategic planning have to be. Maybe now because of you have not achieved the first year full this thing, your 5 years plan have to be readjusted into the backlog of the first year, backlog of the second year, and then rectify, and you have to work with the extra effort so that your 5 year targets are achieved on time. If you cannot put the extra effort, that will spill over to the 6th year. I think that's how one has to see that.
Okay, so thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes?
Hello, sir.
Yes, 1 second. 1 second. I will take your question. 1 second. Yeah, who is asking the question?
Amin Abubakar speaking, sir.
Amino. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Tell.
It's like this lecture is being recorded.
Yeah, yeah.
Fine. Where can we specifically find the video of the lecture, please?
I think, yeah, maybe this is a operational aspect will look after by the RC Dehradun, Regional Center Dehradun. I think you have their contact point of the email ID. Just write to them. The people who are operating that platform will know where these recordings will be available. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. It will be available on the platform.
Sir.
Yeah, yeah. Who is this? Jebede.
I'm Zebed, yes, from Zambia.
Zambia, okay.
My question is, yeah, I didn't get you clearly on the differences between management and the administration, sir.
Yeah, I think that the basic difference is administration is like the governmental sector, where the public funded institution, the government, you are running a government. You are running a government at the national level, you are running the government province level, you are running the government district level. So it's emotionally related to the administration of the administration of a church. That is also how the church is administered, and that's how it is seen that. So this, when it comes to the management, is more of an economic connotation. Suppose adopt the institution as an industry, I think I have to see that my performance ultimately resulted in economic improvement of my organization or not. When it comes to the government, it has many other aspects other than the economic. Economic aspect is not the sole criteria, but when it comes to the management of organization, the sole criteria will be the economic achievement or economic performance. That's how the basic difference. Running a country, governing a country is more related to administration. Running an organization is more related to management. Is it okay?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. When you go through the material, you will get the further clarity. Go through the material. Yeah. I think, friends, that's a long session. 2 hours without a break. You listen to me, and I am also interacting with you. Let you go through the material. In the next class of mine, we will try to go cover a little more. My next class will be on the next week. That is the 9th February. I have a session with you on this. Maybe that session will be shifted. 9th, my another colleague will take, but I will take on 10th, if not on 9th. 10th February. Is it okay? Yeah.
It is, sir.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. Okay. Yeah, friends, with that, we will come to end of this session. I hope you got the benefit of this session. having a comprehensive view of this course and what each course talks about it and each block of the course, and then we have done that. We entered into a one particular unit. In the next class, we'll go a little faster. I think one of the colleagues said I'm going faster. I think a colleague from Zambia, Jabede. Maybe if you go a little slow, naturally, with a limited time, I may not be able to cover much. That's my selfishness is I cover little more, so you will get more benefit. I think that's what you think. I think
Is that right, sir?
yeah, my suggestion to Jebede is before you come to the next session, if you go through the unit 2, 3, 4 of the block 1, so then naturally you will have be able to interact more and cover both. Is it okay?
Okay. It's okay,
Yeah,
sir.
Okay, friends.
it's okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Yes, sir.
See you
Goodbye,
in the
sir.
later session. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Yes, sir. You too, sir.
Goodbye, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Bye. Goodbye, sir. Thank you
Goodbye,
very much.
colleague. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
We'll meet tomorrow, colleagues. We'll meet tomorrow.